Roots of Pacha has its big second update coming to the game, and it is also launching into Xbox consoles. The update launches on July 31st, 2024, which is tomorrow, and I am so excited for this update. Thank you to the team at Roots of Pacha, Soda Den, because I actually already got to play a little bit of this update. So I'm excited to share my thoughts and everything you need to know about it in this video. I wasn't able to get to every part of the update because there are some later game content things in the game that I hadn't even gotten to in my save yet. But don't worry, I am also going to be live streaming the game tomorrow on the day of the update's release. So hopefully we can get to some of those other things that I didn't get to. So I'm really excited. Roots of Pacha, it's one of my favorite games. This video is not sponsored, but they did gift me access to the beta to play the update early. Also, all of the information in this video, you can also read on the recent devlog, which I will link in the description below. So let's jump right into the updates. The first one we're going to highlight has to do with animals. You can progress your friendship with your pets even more and get more perks. So you'll be able to ask them to help you out in different areas. Like if you're on the beach or in the forest, they can actually fetch items for you. And depending on the pet, they'll return with items like herbs or red meat, things like that. And some pets can also now be your trusty mount. So the pets are different because they like live in your house and walk around your farm. And the other animals that are like your mounts typically are in the barn area. This is talking about the pets that typically live in your house. So now you can go on the back of a mammoth or a giant cave spider as long as you have enough friendship with those pets. So that's pretty cool and exciting. And once you complete the main story, you can also get a baby shroom from the TridentZ tree shop. And you can turn your cave lion or your wolf cub into rideable adult forms. So right now I have a white cat in the game. It's a little lion cub. It never grows up. And now you can have an option to have them grow up and then be a rideable mount. So I'm super excited for that. That's a super cute thing that they're adding. Something I kind of was wishing that those animals could have the opportunity to grow up. They also added the Ala. So this is an early watering idea that can quench the thirst of the surrounding 8 plants for up to 2 days. So there's 16 plots worth of water total because it's over the course of those 2 days. So you need to basically place this type of like bucket in between those 8 plants. So you'll have a gap in the middle, kind of like you see in Stardew Valley when you put down a sprinkler. It's basically like that. And then depending on which watering tool you have and how upgraded it is, I have the most upgraded one. So when I tried this out, I was able to fill it up right away. But with your starter watering can, it will actually take 8 splashes to fill the Ala. And the most upgraded bucket, which I have, it only takes 1 splash to fill the Ala. So this is being added because it should help free up more time and stamina for other things, especially in the early game because you have to figure out the watering system. That took me some time to figure out how to get that and unlock that in the game. So this will definitely help those new players, or if you're starting a new save, or if you just want to have a different layout for your plants, this is another option. Also, don't worry if you don't see it watering the plants right away. It will. This was also a fun quest. You pick it up from talking to Reese. You'll see it in your quest log, and it was not a difficult quest to fulfill for me. I really love doing the ideas, and so it was fun to have that. But the next one is also an idea that's going to be new to the clan, and it's involving your children and the school. This new building is going to be added as an idea, and it is the school. It's going to include having some automation to your farm because once you build the school, you unlock learning stations where it actually gives the ability for your toddlers to grow into children, so to grow up a little bit. So I'm excited about that. I haven't had kids in the game yet, but now I'm like super motivated to get married. And so I've been working on that while I've been playing. So I went into my game and I added the school to my save file. I did that idea. I don't have children in the game yet, but I am working on marrying Took, and this quest is with Dari, and it was not difficult to fulfill. I'm also in year 3 with over 100 hours in this game, so maybe for me it wasn't that hard, but for other players who aren't as far along with that, maybe it would be a little more difficult, but for me, it wasn't. And then after you talk to Dari about her idea and fulfill her quest, then it's going to take a couple days for Kroll to build the school. And then once he is done building it, you're going to unlock learning stations. So learning stations is the next thing we're going to talk about here. After you build the school, you will get a learning station. These can be placed in the fields. They affect a 7x4 area. So once you get these working, the children will actually check this every morning, and they can clean sheds, they can talk to your animals for you, they can water and harvest plants, they can refill the alas, they can pump your irrigation pumps, they can harvest honey, harvest trees, and depending on your clan's prosperity, you can get up to 4 learning stations that you place in different areas. So I did get all of the learning stations available. So I have 4, and I was able to place 1 by my animals. And once I placed it, you can see that it automatically knows like where it's placed and what the children will be able to work on in that area. So I assume the same. If you have like a little area with trees that are growing fruit, you can place it there, and then the children will tend to the fruit there. So this is really cool. I love it. I love having the children have more of a purpose and something they can help you with, and I've seen that in some other farming sims as well. So I think that's great, and it's going to be really, really helpful once I have a child in the game. Another area that I'm not able to experience just yet in the game, but I'm also very glad that these things are added because it gives me more to work towards in the game, gives me more incentive to go and play this game again because I do love it. I love when games have mid to late game content being added. And I hope that they continue to do updates with these. But further ado, there is a new stage for children where you can enroll toddlers in school, and this will cause them to grow into school-age children, which I briefly mentioned earlier. So these members of the clan can now be found hanging out around the village, and they will develop dialogues based on one of 4 personalities: their parent at birth, their current parent, and whichever of the 8 professions you and your child chose. So I am curious to find out more about that in my own gameplay, and these combinations will help your child feel like more unique characters in the clan. You'll get gifts from these characters based on the 32 different combinations of professions and personalities. How cool is that? I'm reading this right from the devlog. This is really cool. You can also dress your kids in hats and new clothes, so I'm very excited for that. And you'll be able to change their hairstyle and color. I love this. Your children will also join you at festivals, including your newborns and your toddlers. So some new stages for children being added, which I think is great. Something that's going to help everyone, no matter where you are at in the game, is the saving. Now you can save your game at any time using your bed. So it's going to give you more options now. You don't have to sleep to save it. You can save it at that moment, but you have to use the bed. This was a much requested feature, they said, and I think that's great, because you can just save at the current time rather than going to bed and starting a whole new fresh day. Another addition being added is to do with relationships, and when you form a union with that special somebody in the game, you can now get married at 2 new locations: the beach or the caves, and during the reception you are now able to kiss that special someone, which I didn't know because I didn't get married yet. That's like the thing I saved for last, and I really need to do it because I actually love the options in this game for marriage candidates. But after your partner moves in, they will now also get up with you, so you can chat with them before heading out on your day. So they gotta be waking up early now. They are also gonna have more dialogues than before. So before and after the union that you form with them, you'll have more dialogue. Now, another really cool thing is that whoever you married, your school-age children, your toddlers' nannies, they can all now sit in your house on the furniture that you've placed. So I think that's really cool. Somebody's got to be using that furniture. I didn't set up that cute little house for nothing. So please sit down, have a seat. They can now do that. You can even set the preferred sit direction for them so that no one's staring right at the wall. And I love that. I think this is really cool, and I can't wait to mess around with it. Something else that is talked about here is something that I'm going to mention it in a second, but I'm on a podcast called the Slow Burn Podcast. Pat from Nintendo Talk is on this podcast with, as well as Peyton's Corner. And our first episode, we talked about things that we want in our cozy games. And one of the things that Pat mentioned was that in some of these games, when you are dating people or you're dating someone, but everyone else you're not meaning to date, that in some of these games, they all tend to believe you are romancing them, no matter how many flowers or hearts you grow with them. So now Roots of Pacha has added in that, you know, the clan, it's still fine with you dating multiple people, but if you would rather them not express their feelings for you when you get to 6 flowers, you can now let everyone know available to date others in the clan. And this is something we mentioned on our podcast. So check out our podcast because we have so many fun thoughts that we get to share, and I hope you guys check it out. But yeah, that's something we mentioned, and it's something that's actually coming to the game, and I think that's so cool, and I'm really glad. So to change this setting, you can go to settings, gameplay, and then change that action in the settings there. They're also adding Korean and traditional Chinese languages across the platforms that this game is on. So you can now choose 5 new skin tones and 5 new hair colors to help you create your perfect Achin. Very, very cool that they're adding more representation to the game. And there are tons of other little things and fixes that they're also adding for quality of life updates. They did go over a little bit of what those are at the end of their devlog. Trap locations being shown on the map, being able to put multiple items in processors at a time, and so much more that's not even listed. So make sure if you want to know about those, you will read the devlog for them. Let me know in the comments if you will be playing this update. I certainly will, so be sure to follow me on Twitch, and I'll also be streaming here on YouTube tomorrow. My stream will be at 3 p.m. EST on July 31st, 2024, and hopefully I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Bye!